Shalom, shalom. Call Allah Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. To honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and well. And salutations to the brethren on the four corners of the earth, pushing the word in truth and sincerity. Now, this video is basically going to be be a short. Lord willing, it'll be a short video, but I just wanted to say my piece on, on the false doctrines that's going out, or really, pushing out to the Akim, is that we're set for the defense of the gospel. I'm pretty sure everybody got wisp of the whole Vocab Malone thing, and the Christian doctrines come out, the new Christian fellowshippers coming out of the woodwork, and there's a lot of new doctrines and new Christian establishments. There's a lot of new Israelite sects that are popping up as well, with these crazy outlandish doctrines that really make no sense when you really just do simple history and geography. This Saturday we had a guy pop up in the camp, and he was a real sincere, humble guy. He just wanted to sincerely know, and his mind was warped by what he was taught in college by a couple of dudes that actually heard about the Israelites from us here in Wisconsin. And not only did he think that all 12 tribes of Israel are supposed to look like John Shaft, he also thought that the Northern Kingdom did not come over here in America. That they, when it reads 2nd Ezra 13th chapter and 40, the 40th verse on down, that when it says they entered into Euphrates, meaning that means that they just crossed the Euphrates into Syria, which doesn't make any sense when you read the scripture on down, when you break down the geography. But the whole point of this is that there's a lot of false doctrine and false men out there, because we're coming down to the last days, and you're gonna hear a whole lot more of outlandish shit. You think oh well, I done heard it all. No, there's always somebody that comes up with something that something ridiculous that you've never heard before, and and as the time is starting to wear down, the more crazy these doctrines are going to get, man. It's Matthew 24 and 13. Verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. And the reason why I brought this out is because, brothers got to realize that this is being taught all over the world, man. The gospel is actually reaching every corner of the earth, man. By way of the internet. Now, along with that is going to be a lot of false doctrine popping up. A lot of guys trying to pervert the gospel popping up. Because the further this gospel reaches, the more opposition we're going to get. And the more we're going to have to defend the gospel. Because the more opposition we're going to get. So yes, the end of the end of the world is near. The world's going out through all the earth, but also you're gonna get, as we're reaching out, we're always gonna get something back. As we're reaching out to grab you, we're pulling in bullshit, and it's gonna be a lot of that bullshit, So brothers gotta be prepared to defend the gospel, Not saying that brothers aren't, but brothers have to be more mindful of when dealing with people that that you have to actually defend the gospel. You have to be ready to answer a man. You have to be, you have to be on your tips and toes, your tippy toes. It's like sport of boxing. You don't box on the balls of your feet. You box on your toes. This is Philippians, and the reason is because of this. Philippians 1:15. Some indeed preached Yahushai, even of envy and strife. And you got some guys that come into the truth, like I was saying, that got their false doctrines, that's trying to pervert the truth in order to get some type of name. So they're going to teach any and everything, including things like flat earth, including things like every Israelite should look like John Shaft, including things like the Gentiles can be saved. That's envy and strife, man. And some also of goodwill, which the ones that are teaching the outside of goodwill would be, the Church of Great Millstone, and other churches out there that are in like-minded doctrine, the one preach Yahushua of contention, not sincerely. And this is when you're going to get, a lot of false prophets, a lot of guys who feel bitter because they're not within Great Millstone anymore, or because they're not, or because, the Lord, they know that the Lord is taking what they have from them, supposing to add afflictions to my bonds, and they're trying to add affliction to us, man. They're trying to give us trouble in the flesh by trying to, pervert the gospel, man. They're trying to weary us, But the other of love, knowing that I am set for the defense of the gospel, you know. So we have to be, know that we are set for the defense of the gospel, man. And what does it mean to be set for something? Mean to be unmovable, like the cornerstone of Yahushua, man. The foundation is unmovable, we're going to be set. You're going to be unmovable, man. And defense, meaning we're going to be defending something. We're going to be a shield of something, which we're defending Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And also, you got to think about it too. We're defending the young ones of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, because there are guys that are young in the truth that when they hear something that sounds good, they're going to hearken after it, man. So we have to stop and put up that wall, and defend against that bullshit, Even though the scriptures say, that the elect will not be deceived, but it says if possible, And the scriptures say the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets, man. So if we are to teach this, the younger generations of brothers that's coming in, we have to defend. We have to teach them which way to go and which way not to go, It says what then? Notwithstanding every way, whether in pretense or in truth, Yahushua is preached. And I therefore do rejoice, yea, and will rejoice, Because either way it goes, Yahushua is still going to be preached, Whether somebody preaches on strife or contention, there's always going to be a brother in the faith that's going to be there to combat, to combat the bullshit and bring the truth to light, So Yahushua is still going to be pushed all over the world, man. It's just we have to adapt and we have to crush the opposition, And you have to remember that to study, man. Because with all this new crap that's coming out, with all the false doctrines and and the lies, because there's many lies, but there's only one truth. So we have to even study the lies, man, so we can break it down, so we can show like, look, this isn't the way to go. This isn't true. This didn't happen in the scriptures. That's not what the scriptures are saying. So you have to put on the armor of the Lord, man, which are the scriptures. Because you also have demons and you have warlocks and witches that are pushing out these demons that are forwarding the agenda of these new doctrines and these new waves of thought, that are against the Lord. So not only do you have false prophets and you got guys that teach the scriptures for contention and envy and strife, but you have to remember that we're fighting against Esau and wickedness as well, man. And they're pushing out these demons that hearken on to these fools, man. These false prophets. These Ephesians 6 and 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. And a wile or a trick of the devil would be watching a YouTube video saying that the earth is flat. That shit sounds good. They can spin the scriptures, they can spin chemistry, they can spin geographical locations, they can spin astrophysics, and it sounds good, But that's if you're not trained, man. That's not if you're not trying to hearken unto the Lord, man. If you're sincerely trying to hearken unto the Lord and you stay within the boundaries of what you've been taught, you can't be, or in their foundation, you can't be fooled by that shit, man. It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, so against rulers and powers and governments and, and authority, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places, So you're not, so you see the people outside coming against you on the highways and byways. You see your family coming against you with wayward doctrines and philosophies and things like that. You're not fighting them. You're fighting the demons within them, And you have to remember that there's a thought process behind these spirits, man. These demons, what they hear and what they see, And And we have witches and warlocks coming down and praying and sending out these evil spirits and demons, man. That's giving these false doctrines and these false ways of thought, you know. So we have to be prepared to defend and to exorcise those demons, man. Wherefore, take unto the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand, you know. So not only are we to stand in the evil day against spiritually, but physically as well, man. You know, because there's going to be a time that they're going to stop trying to come after us uh, with spirituality and with intellect and battling us in the scriptures and all manners of truth to actually trying to come against us, man. You know, physically by trying to make you eat pork, you know, trying to make you take the chip, you know, and you won't be able to, and trying to use your family against you to do those things, man. You're not going to defend against those things if you haven't been reading, you haven't been studying, you know, you haven't been praying, you know. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. You know, the preparation of the gospel. You know, which you can only prepare or have the preparation of the gospel by actually reading and studying. You know, and this is to, you know, to young brothers as well, man, especially the young brothers. You know, you have to study, you have to read, you have to learn these precepts. You have to read these stories in the scriptures and heed these examples. You know, above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. You know, and that is why. So every time you know the wicked shoots a dart at you, saying the earth is flat. We can eat pork and the law is done away with. You can swat those away like flies, man. You know, but you won't be able to do that if you don't know the scriptures, man. It says, and take on the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Most High. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. You know, and we all know the sword is the word, man. And but you have to be praying as well. You can't just read and think that, you know, that you're going to keep this. You know, you have to pray. Pray for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, man. Above all else, don't pray for a new car. Don't pray for a bigger apartment. You know, don't pray for a raise at your job. Pray for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You know, because with that, then everything else will come, follow suit. You know, and pray that you're able to defend the gospel, man. Because you got false teachers, man. Like I said earlier, it's 1 Timothy 4:1. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the later times some shall depart from the faith. You know, so some will be in the faith, be in the truth, you know, and then they're going to leave, either because they got offended, their wife left them, and you know they gave them an ultimatum or whatever it was. You know, giving heed to seducing spirits. So now they're giving heed to seducing spirits, man. You know, and those seducing spirits are telling them, psst, psst, the earth is flat. You know, or psst, psst, the all 12 tribes supposed to look like John Shaft. Or, you know, psst, psst, the Northern Kingdom never came over to America. You know, and they're teaching these things. You know, and doctrine of devils, man. You know, doctrines of deceivers, you know, and they're teaching these things. Speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron, meaning there's no way you convince them, you know, because their conscience is closed, man. You know, their mind is already made up. There's no change in their mind, you know. So debating with them to get them to see our, you know, your point of view of the scriptures, which is the truth, is a waste of time. But we have to defend the gospel in terms of defending younger brothers or defending, you know, guys who are just getting into the truth from taking heed to that bullshit. You know, taking heed to defend them from taking heed to the earth being flat. Defend them from taking heed that we are to just that the truth is all about the law, the law, the law. You know, defend them from the fact that, oh, we're not supposed to say the name. You know, defend them from the dart that, you know, the Northern Kingdom never came over to America. Defend them from the dart that, oh, we're Africans and we really where the Ethiopian Jews are really supposed to be a part of Israel. Defend them from all those things. This is 2 Peter 3 and 5. It says, "For this they are willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of the Most High of heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water." Now, they were willingly, matter of fact, let me start up. At verse 3, 2 Peter 3 and 3. "Knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lusts." Which I just explained to you, the scoffers, man, teaching those false doctrines, so they can, or, teaching certain things and omitting others, as far as, like, eating pork, or omitting, things like committing adultery, so they can do what they want to do, man. Scoffers walking after their own lusts, and saying, "Where is the promise of his coming?" So now they're forsaking the gospel, period, that the Lord is even coming, man. "For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation." And because they have this in their mind, this is why they teach the things that they teach, because they really don't believe that the Lord is coming back to destroy this place. "For this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of the Most High, heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water." Because you got guys teaching that there's not going to be any type of destruction, that the nuclear missiles aren't going to happen, and that this isn't America, and that the Vatican Church is Babylon, and and things like that, man. So they don't believe in the destruction, but being willingly ignorant that, remember, there was a destruction back in the time of Noah. It hadn't rained ever, and Noah prophesied for 120 years, and you getting tired, and you only been in the truth for 6, and you already given up talking about the Lord ain't coming back. But Noah prophesied, and guess what? It rained, and the flood destroyed everyone, man. Verse 6, "Whereby the world then was, being overflowed with water, perished." And that's just what's going to happen on this side as well, man. So they're ignorant of everything in the scriptures, man, because they don't really believe, and because they don't believe, they don't want others to believe. But we have to defend against that, man, with our belief, which is stronger than their non-belief, if that makes sense. It's 1 Peter 3 and 15. "But sanctify the Lord Yahweh in your hearts, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asketh you." So you're supposed to be ready to give a man an answer, man. At any time, man, ask you a question, you're supposed to be ready to give him an answer. Boom. If you can't give him an answer, you study it and come back and give him an answer. It's as simple as that. But in order to do that, you have to study. Because this is all about defending the gospel, man, and gaining our salvation. And 10 times out of 10, that question is going to be related to something that they were taught in the world, man. So you have to be able to break that programming of the matrix, man. It says, "A reason of the hope that is in you with meekness and fear." Having a good conscience, that whereas they speak evil of you as of the evildoers, that may be ashamed that falsely accuse your good conversation in Yahushua. Because there's going to be guys that cast your name out as evil, man, calling you a devil and calling you Satan and deceiver and a liar and a hypocrite. But guess what? Every time someone asks you a question, you can answer it. You can answer it from the scriptures, or you can answer it with wisdom. Because we are supposed to be set for the defense of the gospel, man. So everything that comes your way, and now I'm really talking to new brothers at the moment. Everything that comes your way, you have to study, and you have to read. So not only can you teach someone else, and can you defend the gospel, but also for yourself, man, so you don't get caught in the bullshit. So with that, I want to give all praise with Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, double honors the apostles and elders, great most of them are well, and salutations to the brethren of four corners of the earth, pushing the word in truth and in sincerity. Shalom.